So let's clear some things up right away. If you ever looked at a job or internship posted and thought, I don't qualify because I don't have experience, then this video is for you. Students are constantly told they need experiences to get opportunities, but rarely told how they're supposed to get that experience in the first place. What most students don't realize is that experience doesn't start with a paycheck, it starts with responsibility, commitment, and impact. And that's exactly what extracurriculars give you. So let's break it down step by step. I'm going to pass it over to Cameron Strickland, and who's going to explain how extracurriculars already build the same skills employers look for. So let's dive right into it.
And like sports or music, things like that, many people will see as something to get a scholarship or fill an open spot in a schedule. But it can be more to that to workplaces and colleges, and it can be a big thing on applications to different places because learning how to communicate more through like volunteering and clubs and being able to put yourself out there through things like maybe marching band or show choir or drama and like different sports because you do have to try out and put yourself out there, and that's something that you have to do to apply to colleges and to jobs and be like in-person interviews. So it's really important to learn those skills through extracurriculars. And personally, I'm going to say this, I feel like doing different extracurriculars that I've done, like clubs, marching band, show choir, it helps to be able to do stuff like apply to colleges, apply to different clubs, do like interviews and stuff. It's not as nerve wracking after this. And also being able to push through bad days where you're not feeling motivated and you're tired or you just don't feel good, because everybody has days like that and you want to be able to learn how to push through, especially if someone is depending on you. Like if you're doing at a job, let's say you're doing a group work and you're doing a certain part, but you don't show up because you didn't want to, then you have put other people in a bad spot. But if you learn from extracurriculars you do in high school how to push through those days, it can help maybe give you more respect through other people. And that's how you get like different friendships and different like bonds in general. Like that's how I've made most of my friends. That's how I've learned how to push through days where I don't feel good. And it's especially good to maybe let's say you don't want to, but you also love seeing a certain friend, maybe you have at a job or at a club or something. That can be your motivation to do it. And it's really good to learn how to find motivation through different extracurriculars and to find the determination. And as my band director always says, the want to. And a funny saying he has is sometimes you might have to pull it out of your toenails. But it's a really good phrase, I feel like, because it says that sometimes you have to pull the want to and the motivation out of the smallest place inside you. And that's hard, but it's a very valuable skill to learn in extracurriculars to bring into the real world, because that's how you get so many opportunities and that's how you get so many different kinds of people. And learning how to put yourself out there and how to just be a better team player is something that is very, very good to learn through these types of extracurriculars. And maybe you don't like putting yourself out there, but joining extracurriculars can help. And because I personally, I used to hate putting myself out there. I used to hate talking to other people, but I started putting myself out there because other people were depending on me to put myself out there. And it is, I cannot stress how much it has helped me learn how to do certain things and how to just make new friends and bonds within my extracurricular activities, which I feel like can help if you go out into the real world, the as sometimes I call it the big kid world, and you get a job and you put yourself out there, you can create these amazing friendship bonds between coworkers, and it can make you have a want to do stuff. And it's just I feel like having extracurriculars, even if it's just like let's say beta club, you're still having to do all of this different stuff and put yourself out there and volunteer, and you're learning so many different skills that you don't even realize. I feel like because I didn't realize them until I started doing all these other things. And I feel like it's just extracurriculars are such an amazing way to learn determination, communication, networking, like finding motivation and making like amazing bonds. There it's such an amazing way. And it's just I I just feel like it's such an amazing way to learn so many different skills for your workplace, like whether it's teaching or let's say trades or medical school, you have to push through days that you don't want to be there. You have to find the motivation to do it. And having maybe sports, let's say like you're tired and your muscles are sore, but you need to be there because your team is depending on you. And so you find that motivation through there. Well, you can take that from high school or college and take it to your workplace and use that as a way to be a better employee, manager, employer, whatever, entrepreneur, doctor, nurse, whatever you're going to be. It's just having to learn those skills early can help make you a better person in the future.
Absolutely agree with everything you just said. Truly, extracurriculars are not are a little bit overlooked in my opinion. I feel like there are true experiences and they definitely have a great impact on someone's life. I think that extracurricular is real experiences and I think it's really great. Extracurriculars, for those of you who don't know, are things like volunteer work, sports, clubs, leadership activities. Anything in that area is really extracurricular. Maybe you're taking up some painting classes, that would also count as extracurricular. Things like these are extracurriculars for those of you who don't know. Experience is best understood as evidence that an individual can handle responsibility, collaborate with others, manage time, and follow through on commitments. Employers and colleges do not simply ask for experience to see where someone has worked. They ask to determine whether that individual can be trusted to perform in structured environments with expectations and accountability. And extracurriculars, they just provide this proof long before students enter the workforce. And I think that's amazing. Like, if you have extracurriculars, they will benefit you long before you even get a job. Like, you have that experience already. And I think that is a great tool that is so valuable. The experience you can get from extracurriculars versus the workforce. Don't get me wrong, the workforce is great, but as a young student, I think, especially students who can't get jobs because of age and stuff, extracurriculars are amazing and you can get real experience from it. You can actually get volunteer hours from extracurriculars. And I think that is just really cool. And it's a great asset for students alike. Participation in activities outside the classroom demonstrates initiation. Students choose to join clubs, organizations, or service projects without obligations, which signals motivation and curiosity. Consistent involvement over time further strengthens the signal by showing reliability and commitment, qualities that are highly valued in academic and professional settings. Extracurricular activities are major skill building. You can learn so much from extracurricular activities, soft skills, and hard skills. Clubs and student organizations are definitely underestimated because they do not resemble traditional workspaces. However, they mirror professional environments in many ways. Students collaborate with peers or different personalities, manage schedules, plan events, and resolve conflicts. And these experiences develop transferable skills such as communication, teamwork, organization, and leadership. Group work within extracurriculars closely resemble real-world professional collaboration. Students learn to meet deadlines, distribute responsibilities, and adapt when plans change. These experiences prepare students for future careers by exposing them to realistic challenges in low-risk environments where growth and learning are encouraged. I know if you were to go to a job interview and they would say, "What are your job experiences?" Well, I had extracurriculars in high school. I feel like that would be a little bit overlooked and seen less value than an actual job, but I believe that it should be viewed just the same as a job because you are getting experiences, you are getting that knowledge from the job. You're still getting the value that you would get in a real job in extracurriculars. So I think that it should definitely not be overlooked in jobs and that the perspective that people have at that, I think it should definitely be changed because I think they should be just as valued as jobs are. So I think volunteering is a professional experience. It's a form of extracurricular, and I think it's really great. Volunteering is one of the most powerful yet overlooked forms of experience. Unlike structured jobs, volunteer roles often require individuals to adapt quickly, work with diverse populations, solve problems with limited resources, and these situations build adaptability, professionalism, and confidence. And volunteering also strengthens communication skills by placing students in unfamiliar settings that require clear, respectful interactions through organizations like NSHSS. Students can access leadership programs and skills and opportunities that allows them to earn volunteer hours while simultaneously developing skills applicable to future careers. Unpaid work does not equate to unprofessional work. Like, I think that's something that a lot of people need to know. The responsibilities, expectations, and impact of volunteering are real, and they reflect a student's willingness to contribute meaningfully without external incentives. Do you want to say anything?
I agree with everything. I think volunteering is such an important thing to do because you can learn how to talk to new people. How to you can learn how to help others, and you can learn how to communicate with people who maybe aren't good at communicating with other people. You can learn how to help them because I volunteer a lot at my church. I will say this, and I love working with the nursery, and I also volunteer working banquets, which is like kind of being a waitress at the church, I guess. And it has helped me so much in learning how to talk to new people, learning just like being able to communicate with people from 1 to 80 something. Like, and that's such a diverse group of people. And being able to communicate with people from every single walk of life, from different counties, different states, maybe sometimes even different countries. Like I've met a guy who came from India. I've met guys who came from Russia. And it was, I would say, it was a learning experience because I got to learn so many different things about from where they came from. And it was just an amazing experience. And I feel like volunteering, even if you don't get to meet people from different countries, just volunteering in general is such an amazing thing because you get to talk to different people from all different walks of life and just different stages of where they are as a person.
Yes. Volunteering strengthens both work work skills and personal skills. It also strengthens like things like communication, maybe organization skills also. I'm not too sure. Do you have another subject you want to get into? Or do you want me to go to the next subject?
You can, I think you can go.
All right. So I want to talk about another extracurricular, and that is clubs. I feel like when you think of extracurriculars, it's either um athletic things like sports. Sports can be a club too, but I feel like the main thing when you think about extracurriculars is clubs. So we're going to talk about that. When people hear clubs, they usually think it's something you join to fill in space on an application, but that's not how colleges or employers see it when it's framed correctly. Being a club means you showed up consistently. Oh, that's not good. This meeting ends in 10 minutes. If it kicks you out, just rejoin because I don't have Zoom Plus, so just rejoin. Being in a club means you showed up consistently. It means you worked with different personalities. It means you followed through on commitments, even if it wasn't convenient. Planning events, that's organization and project management. If you're running meetings, that's leadership and communication. If you're working on group initiatives, that's collaboration. There's all these different things when you are working in a club, and some of them are just so underlooked that it makes me so sad. And clubs are just one piece of the puzzle. Volunteering take these skills and apply them to real world settings. Volunteering is one of the most overlooked forms of experience and honestly one of the strongest. When you volunteer, you're often stepping into unfamiliar environments, working with people you never met, and solving problems without a clear instruction manual. And I want to talk about NSHSS for a minute because it's really great. Through NSHSS, members can access leadership programs and service opportunities that help them earn volunteer hours while building skills that translate directly into future careers. For example, NSHSS partners with Carbon Crew, Love Michael, United Planet, and so much more. And their leadership programs, some of them offer experiences for volunteer hours, which is really great also. And when volunteering turns into leadership, that's where your experiences really start to stand out. If you've ever been a team captain, club officer, committee lead, or project coordinator, you weren't just participating, you were leading. You were making decisions, you were responsible for outcomes, you were trusted to guide others. That's not helping out, that's leadership experience. One of the biggest mistakes students make is downplaying these roles because they weren't paid. But experience only matters if you know how to explain it. That's where framing comes in. Here's the shift you need to make. Stop listing titles, start telling stories. When writing resumes or applications, use the structures. What you did, plus how you did it, plus the result. Instead of saying member of student council, say collaborated with a team to plan and execute a school-wide event for 200 plus students. This shows action, it shows skills, and it shows impact. And when you repeat this across your experiences, your resume starts telling a very different story. When students learn how to translate their experiences, something shifts. They stop apologizing for not having experience and start owning what they've done. You don't need to wait until after graduation to feel qualified. You're already building your foundation right now. And that's the foundation, and that foundation becomes even stronger when you intentionally seek out opportunities that challenge you.
I completely agree, and I don't think I could have said it better. It was, it was, I feel like it's such a, clubs are such an overlooked thing because it feels like maybe free labor, but you're learning such important things. Like you're such important skills that you need. And like making it sound like a story instead of a title is such an important thing that I don't think I could stress enough as especially as a high school senior. Like it's just such an important thing for whenever you go out into the real world.
Extracurriculars are an extra. They're evidence that you can lead, contribute, and grow. NSHSS exists to help students recognize and develop that potential through leadership programs, service opportunities, and career-focused resources. You don't need more experience. You need to recognize the experience you already have. And that's our video from NSHSS 101 with Camryn Strickland. Thank you for being here, Camryn. It was nice to have you here.
Thank you so much for letting me have this experience.
Anything you want to say to our viewers before we close off?
Um, just don't overlook your extracurriculars like your clubs or your sports or if you're in art or drama, show choir, band, whatever choir, don't overlook it and think it as something that you're just going to do in high school because you can take those skills that you've learned and put them somewhere in the real world. And it's such an important thing to remember and think about.
I'm Adaliz Ramirez, and this was Camryn Strickland on our NSHSS 101 video, turning extracurriculars into career experience. It was a pleasure to have you guys watching our videos, and if you haven't liked them and subscribed, please do so already. Editing these videos take a while, as much as making them, so your support means the world. Thank you again for being here, Camryn, and I hope to see you in a next one. Bye, guys. Thanks for watching.